Hi everybody, so with the Battlefield 2042 Beta being a little disappointing, there's probably quite a few people who are Battlefield fans who really enjoy the Battlefield experience, who are scratching their heads, a bit like me, thinking, what are we going to play instead? Because sure, you may or may not be a fan of Call of Duty, you may or not be a fan looking forward to Call of Duty Vanguard coming out, but whether you are or not, Call of Duty definitely gives you a different experience, whether that be in their regular 6v6 multiplayer or Warzone, or even in something like Ground War. Battlefield always gave you a feel of being in something much larger and kind of, I know this sounds a bit silly, but something more important as well. Two armies coming together and clashing together. So in this video, I'm going to show you gameplay of two games you may well want to consider. So the gameplay you're seeing in the background is of Enlisted and Hell Let Loose. Both games that definitely have that Battlefield feel. And both games, funnily enough, that are set in World War II. Now, of course, the simplest option is, if you really like Battlefield, is to carry on playing the Battlefield you're playing right now. It's just that the last Battlefield 5, well, I'll tell you what, after playing Battlefield 2042, Battlefield 5 seems an awful lot better than I thought it was before. But you can still play Battlefield 5 on console and PC. There's plenty of people playing. You can get on servers. You can still play, my favourite, which is Battlefield 1. At the right times of day, you can play on servers, and even Battlefield 4. Now, what you tend to find with these servers, especially the Battlefield 1 ones, they're all based, the European servers are all based in Germany, so your ping can be quite large, so you've got to watch out a little bit for lag, which means that the game sometimes can feel, you tend to get killed a little bit more often than you normally would. But back to potential replacements if you want to play a new game. Now, if you've got a next-gen console, definitely consider Enlisted. However, Enlisted is different to Battlefield. In Enlisted, this is more of a military simulator than Battlefield. It's almost all the way to something like an armour military simulator. But what Hell Let Loose does give you is an incredibly immersive World War II experience. The maps in Hell Let Loose are based on satellite imagery from the actual places in Normandy and Europe. So although at first you may think, well, these maps are a little bit boring, they're all hedgerows and the odd farmhouse, and then often there's lots of flooding, that's because they're based on real places. And when you realise that, you're like, wow, I'm actually fighting through what the soldiers in World War II would have been fighting through when they were fighting through Quarantine or Normandy, and it is very, very immersive. It's also very difficult to see enemies. However, what you do get in Hell Let Loose is, once you get around the fact that you've got to join a squad that's got a squad leader where people are talking on the radio, and you start talking to people and you start discussing objectives, and maybe you're the supply guy putting down the supplies, or you're the medic reviving your teammates. When you start getting into that, it's like no other gaming experience you will have. It feels at times like you're playing in a film, like Saving Private Ryan or Company of Heroes. And at other times it feels like you're in a real combat situation, because the only indication that you've killed somebody is if you hit them in the head, and you'll hear the ping of their helmet being hit. Otherwise, you haven't got a clue whether you've killed people, so you're just firing blindly. When you get killed, you don't have a clue where you're coming from, so you have to think a lot. You've got to be flanking, and it is an immersive experience. Now, there's plenty of tutorial videos out there for Hell Let Loose, so I won't go into any more depth about that. Just to say that as I'm recording this video on the 11th of October, you can you can get Hell Let Loose for free on PlaysStation 5, so definitely get it. And even if you're on PlayStation 4, log on to the PlayStation Store in your area, and you can claim it for PlayStation 5 even if you don't own a PlayStation 5, and then give it a go. And you need to play it for a few hours, and you do need to get on comms and start talking. However, there are quite a few bugs at the moment, but remember, this is a budget game, because on Xbox, on Series S, Series X, it'll only set you back £35, and it gives you an experience like no other. Now, if you haven't got next gen and you're on PlayStation 4s or Xbox One, Enlisted, or even if you are on next gen, Enlisted is a really good option. Now, this game is actually free to play, but don't let that put you off. On next gen, on the Xbox Series S gameplay you're seeing in this video, it runs incredibly smooth down. They've done an awful lot to get this game running very, very well indeed. And what's different about Enlisted is it's a World War II shooter. It's objective based, so there's different game modes. There's one that's a bit like Domination, where you go around with three objectives, and there's I think it's called Invasion or something. There's one where it's a bit more like Battlefield's Frontlines, where you've got to attack or defend individual objectives, and depending whether you capture it or not, that then moves up the battlefield. So for example, you do the D-Day beaches like that. The big difference with Enlisted, though, is that when you join and you have some AI squad mates with you. So they're following you around. So when you get shot, you turn into one of your AI squad mates, or you can swap between them at will. Now, this sounds like a bit of a silly idea to start off with, but once you get used to it and you start giving them orders like go here, or lie down here, or return fire here, or attack this tank, it's pretty good, and it gives you a instant respawn when you die, as long as your teammates, as long as your squad mates are alive. And that can be really cool. So you're attacking objective, you die, you quickly change to one of your teammates, and you can carry on attacking. Now, because it is free to play, there is a leveling up process, so your soldiers will start with basic weapons. But you can buy a battle pass or a season pass, to level up faster. I think there's currently 4 campaigns you can work your way through. So there's Normandy, there's North Africa, there's Moscow, and there's Berlin, I think. So there's different areas you can play on. I haven't played it on PlaysStation 4 Xbox One yet, so I'm not sure how well it will play, but I will be doing a video about that soon. But it is a great, fun World War II shooter. Again, it's another game that you've got to watch some tutorial videos about, because there's lots of different controls you can do, from commanding your squad to how you upgrade the weapons and how you upgrade the squads. Don't be afraid by the fact that you'll be using a bolt-action rifle a lot as well, because the bolt-action rifles are very, very effective, because just like in Hell Let Loose, the time to kill in Enlisted is very, very short. If you hit somebody with a headshot, they're dead. You do get a second chance if you hit yourself, if you hit in the body, because you can use a bandage. And it's the same in Hell Let Loose as well. If you get hit and not in the head, you get the chance to use a bandage as well, or you can sit there and you can wait to be revived. So there we go, 2 really good game options that will give you quite a bit of that Battlefield experience. Hell Let Loose for next gen goes beyond Battlefield, I think, to an even more mil-sim sort of game that is very, very rewarding, but you do need to put the time in. Enlisted is kind of a cross between Battlefield and Call of Duty, but it looks great, and I love the feel of the game, and it's free to play. So if you're looking for something to play apart from Battlefield 2042, and you don't want to go back to the old Battlefields or want to try something new, definitely check out Hell Let Loose, and definitely check out Enlisted. Anyway, do you have any ideas of other things to play? If you do, put them in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.